running 30 years on the air on WROI is the first federal program. Hosts may have changed, but the program is still the same. Now continuing a long-standing tradition, streaming on the First Federal Facebook page and on WROI. It's time for the First Federal program.
Yes, indeed, it is time for the First Federal program. The rain has started to come down, it looks like, but that is okay because it is still a beautiful morning. We've got Todd Vansickle joining us this morning. Good morning.
Thank you, Paul. Good morning. Yes, indeed. A good Friday morning. It's a great day. Rain's not such a bad thing, you know?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's March, and it's still the first half of March, so this rain could be other things.
The other things like snow.
Yeah.
Well, I like the rain because my car's got the winter grunge on it, kind of.
Yes.
Maybe this will help kind of wash some of it off.
Yeah, mine just came out of the shop, and I was looking at all the dust that's on it, and I'm like, man, I need to run it through the car washer. Then I saw it was supposed to rain today. I'm like, never mind, I'll take the free one.
We've got some great guests today, Paul.
Yes, we do.
From the Distinguished Young Women Program. Michaela Slisher, head of the Fulton County program, and Breana Amezquita. I'm sorry. Breana Amezquita. We'll get that right. And they'll join us in a few minutes to talk about distinguished young women in Fulton County and the state. They've done some great things, had their state competition about a month ago, and got a local star in Breana here, so we'll talk to her about great things are going on with her. So, spring forward, Paul.
Yes. Yeah.
And spring break.
And spring break.
Coming
and
up.
If you're a fan of the IRL, the first race is this Sunday. So it's going to be a good weekend.
Wow, the IRL. I haven't heard that term for a while. Do they still call it the IRL?
Yes.
Okay. And
yes.
That, of course, be on Giant FM?
It will be. It will be.
Great.
You're going to ask me the time, and I don't know the time off the top of my head.
Spring, lots of things going on. It's going to be a great spring this year, and let's get ready for it, right?
Yes.
So, spring forward, we do have a trivia question related to daylight savings time.
It's terrible. All right.
When Tanner put this question out there, I looked at it. I always thought there was some history with Ben Franklin.
Okay.
But that's not exactly true. It's kind of like an old wives' tale kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, our question today is, what country was the first to implement daylight savings time? United States, Germany, Canada, and Mexico. Just because I threw a wet blanket on Ben Franklin doesn't rule out the United States, though. So,
okay.
United States, Germany, Canada, or Mexico?
None that I thought, so I'm really going to have to sit and think on this.
We've got a lot packed in this show, so we'll bring in Tanner now to talk about sports.
Yes, good morning. Yep, it's Paul, you were talking about the IRL. Well, it's a perfect time to be a basketball fan, too.
Yes, it is.
Not only in the college world, with this being the last week of the regular season for the big conferences, the mid-major conferences are already in their conference tournaments this week. And the big conferences will have their conference tournaments next week, and then next Sunday night we'll know the field of 68, the selection show, all that good stuff. But there's also high school basketball going on still around the state.
Yeah.
As regional action for the boys is going on. And I want to give a shout out to one of my high school classmates, 2010 Rochester High School graduate, Garrett Weiniger. He's the coach of the number 1 ranked Fishers Tigers. They won their first sectional school history last week, which was a gauntlet. There was
I saw
4 other teams ranked in the top 10 in their sectional alone.
And they go to the regional, they're still tough teams.
Yes, they play Kokomo.
I knew that.
Tomorrow in the regional, and they met up earlier this season, December, and Fishers got the better of them pretty easily, but now with December, a lot of things can change, and he knows it's going to be tough. They play in Newcastle, which is the biggest high school gym in America, not only the state.
Great place to play.
So good luck to Fishers and Garrett, and it's awesome to see his growth as a coach. Started as assistant at Warren Central, and they won a state title, and then he got the Fishers job, and he keeps doing better and better every year. So.
I imagine that will be a packed house because Flory Badinga from the Wildcats from Kokomo. I've been to a couple of games there the last couple of years, and Memorial Gym's been sold out. So.
Yeah, he's kind of an attraction within himself.
Right.
So I'm interested. I think the first time they played, Fishers held him to single-digit points. So we'll see if they can do it again, but that'll be fun to follow for everybody around here. College sports got a lot of in-state teams in action, and that includes Indiana State today. They are in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament not championship, but conference tournament
Arch
this week.
Madness, that's
Arch
what they call
Madness,
it,
yes.
in St. Louis.
Yes, they play at 1 o'clock today against Missouri State.
Okay.
And Evansville is still alive right now, too. They're also in that conference. They play Drake at 7 o'clock today.
Okay.
Yeah, Evansville had an upset yesterday, kind of
Yep.
knocked off Illinois State.
Yep, which Illinois State was one of the teams that gave Indiana State troubles a few weeks ago. So were Southern Illinois and Missouri State, who they play.
Didn't Lance Jones come from one of those schools?
Southern Illinois.
Southern
So
Illinois.
did Marcus Damask, who plays for Illinois.
Okay.
So you kind of wondered, how was Southern Illinois not better last year with those two guys? But that seems to happen sometimes. So those are the two in-state schools in action as far as conference tournaments go, because the rest are already eliminated. Valparaiso, IUPUI. Actually, I didn't check on Purdue Fort Wayne. They might still be alive. They won the other 9. But I know IUPUI's done in their last year of being IUPUI, and Valparaiso's out as well. So, and Ball State, I should have looked up them too. I'm forgetting about Ball State too.
Slackers.
I know. There's too many in-state school, Division I schools. But the 4 biggest, I do have notes. Butler finished their regular season with a record of 18-13. They beat Xavier. They are off this weekend, but the Big East tournament is going on next week. So I think they probably need a couple wins to get on the safe side of the bubble there, but they'll definitely have their opportunity. Purdue, Indiana, and Notre Dame all in action this weekend. Notre Dame travels to Virginia Tech tomorrow. That game's at 2:30 on ESPNU. Both Purdue and Indiana are in action on Sunday. Purdue hosts Wisconsin on Sunday at 12:30 on CBS, and Indiana hosts Michigan State at 4:30 on CBS. So you can flip it to CBS and just stay there all day, I guess. So
Well, also during that day, you've got the Big Ten Women's Championship on CBS that day,
that's
too.
true, which a lot of people think it'll be Ohio State and Iowa, but Indiana might have something to say about that.
They may have a couple of key injuries.
I saw they weren't fully healthy going in.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of eyes on the women's game right now for good reason, too. So, Caitlin Clark's pretty fun to watch. But I do have to throw in a bone to Purdue there for clinching the outright Big Ten championship the other night, their 26th, and a pretty hard-fought win at Illinois. So.
I know it's only radio, but Tanner's beaming kind of.
Yeah.
I
got
feel
brighter
pretty good
here.
right now. I have
Lots
to,
of pride show.
because in 2 weeks I'm going to be full of anxiety when the NCAA tournament starts. So I gotta throw it in while I can.
Well, they've only lost to 15 or 16 teams once or twice.
Only a couple times. So they got to sit in it until they don't. So they took it on the chin pretty well this year. So, but Indiana's on a low win streak for themselves, and announced Mike Woodson's coming back next year.
Too little, too late.
And they did have some unfortunate recruiting news for them last night. So
What was that?
their 5-star number 11 ranked recruit in the nation decommitted from Indiana last night. So
Perfect.
and of course Kansas and some other big boys are already right in on them. So, but we can mention that. Got some tidbits here this morning, Paul, for you. On this day in 1838, the U.S. Mint in New Orleans began operation. They began producing dimes. On this day in 1936, the first stock car race was held in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Hey.
That would go on to be what we now know as the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah, a long time
Close
ago.
to 100 years.
A long
now.
time ago, yeah.
On sand.
On sand, the first
On the
original
beach,
one was
yeah.
on the beach itself.
You ever driven on the beach in Daytona?
No.
Tanner, you?
Nope. Nope. And on this day in 2014, the Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 disappeared.
Yeah.
Still, to this day, there's been documentaries on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's the most expensive aviation, I guess, mystery and search of the day. So it's pretty wild. If you haven't seen the documentary, I recommend doing so on Netflix. It's pretty.
There's various versions of the documentaries of what happened.
Yeah, that
there's
too.
really
So
no
there's
clue.
a lot of it's still a big mystery to this day. Well, we got some days. Today's International Women's Day.
Perfect day to have on our
Yeah,
desk.
exactly.
Designing young women. Designing distinguished young women. I'm sorry.
National Oregon Day. Last Friday was National Minnesota Day, so I guess every state's just gonna have their own day.
Yeah, I think it's the day they became a state or
Okay.
something along those
That would
lines.
make sense. National Freelancers Day. International Grant Professionals Day.
No, okay.
National Middle Name Pride Day. I think we have that one every year on this show, it seems like.
Yeah, it always seems to fall on a Friday.
National Peanut Cluster Day. National Proofreading Day, and this one's not as nice. National
Just skip that one.
Yeah, it's
Be
Be Nasty Day. Like be rude to somebody, which is not very.
That's not positive.
I know a guy that I can be rude to, don't worry.
Okay.
And no, Tanner, it's
I
not
was
you.
gonna say, why do I feel like that's directed to me?
Paul, what goes around comes around.
Oh, I know, he'll be nasty to me too.
So moving on here, we've got some upcoming events. Spring break coming up for Rochester schools.
Yeah.
Next week, spring break movies. That's awesome.
Yes.
On Wednesday, March 13th, you've got Migration at 2 o'clock and Space Jam at 7 o'clock. There's free admission and popcorn thanks to Cy Azozai.
Mm-hmm.
That's at the Times Theater.
At Times Theater, yeah, great. So hopefully you'll see a lot of people there. Your kids probably looking forward to spring break, Paul?
They are. They've already asked if they can go to all 4 movies.
Okay,
So.
that's great. And one's even starting today, pre-spring break with Twister, right?
Yes. Yeah. 8th grade's going over and watching Twister today.
Another thing going on right now, the Retired Senior Volunteer Program, RSVP, is still selling green carnations to benefit volunteers. Delivery date's Friday, March 15th. You can contact Ann King, 574-223-3716. Ann's been on the show before talking about RSVP. It's a great organization for retired senior citizens, and honor and support that program by buying some green carnations. Then we had the FFA students on a few weeks ago. The 31st annual consignment auction will be held Saturday, March 23rd at 9 a.m. at the fairgrounds. And consignment items will be taken the 20th through the 22nd. Just contact an FFA student and they can set you up for that. Excuse me. In money news, Dow finished up 130 points. I think every time I'm on the show, the Dow's always up.
Yeah.
Not because of me,
I see a trend there.
but it's good. And Dow's up 1,000 points this year. That's good too for everybody's future and planning and retirements. NASDAQ is near an all-time high. The Federal Reserve Chairman said the Fed was not ready to begin cutting right now, but as he told the Senate Banking Committee on Thursday, but from having confidence, it looks like inflation is on the right path, and they'll start cutting maybe later this year, which will impact interest rates for deposit and borrowing, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. We talk about some bank things. In other business news, Apple canceled their car project. Did you even know they had a car project?
I did not.
I had heard rumblings.
So it's like they never really officially announced it, but then they announced they canceled it.
Yeah.
So I guess they can't compete with the others that are out there right now.
There's a lot out there, so.
And Apple's pretty innovative.
Yeah.
So moving on to bank news. We're open today from 8:30 to 5. Tomorrow 8:30 to noon. We've got banking online 24/7. Go to our ATMs to get money. We still have a great interest rate special for deposit accounts, and 8%, an 8-month. Sorry, maybe you just got fired.
I think you're
An
good.
8-month CD special at 4.99% APY. That's 4.99% APY. Annual percentage yield. We still have a closed-end second mortgage rate at 8.5% with an 8.864% annual percentage rate for qualified borrowers. It's a great program. There's flexible, variable, and fixed rates available for your needs. You can consolidate debt, do a home improvement. You can contact Ben Dalton or Stacy Wilson to help you out. We offer Simply Free checking accounts, Simply Free business checking accounts. Tanner brought in our gift today, but we'll maybe show that in just a few minutes here. Our gifts are changing. And
Hopefully the camera can see.
Muffin Man time, right? Muffin Pan time.
Yeah.
A great muffin pan that we're giving away now. So if you open a free checking account, you get one of those, or if you refer a friend. And Paul's always looking for friends to refer, so
just tell him Paul Zartman's.
you can use a few muffins. Since
Yeah.
I'm just glad Tanner remembered because I forgot.
Thought you'd be
It's
proud
got a
of
12-spot muffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Non-stick.
your dozen.
Steel.
Yeah.
Steel.
Mm-hmm.
So we're always in the commercial loan business. We have great financial services. come and see us. We're happy to help you out. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or X, Instagram, LinkedIn, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender. Our NMLS number is 399927.
And that makes us legal.
We'll kind of sped through the banking stuff there because we got some great guests here today. Michaela Slisher from the Distinguished Young Women Program. Welcome, Michaela.
Thank you.
And Breana
Amezquita.
Amezquita. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I'm having trouble with that today. But Breana is a shining example of what the Distinguished Young Women Program is about, right? Right, Michaela?
Yes, most definitely.
And you've been involved in the program quite a few years now.
Yep, we started back up for the class of 2020, so technically it's 2019. But we have our local program in November of their senior year, and then they go to state competition in February of their senior year. So.
And Breana's got a great story. She's very successful in that. In the local competition, she was the award winner for Fulton County in November, right before Thanksgiving, and recently participated in the state competition in Kokomo the week of Valentine's Day, right?
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Breana.
So I'm currently a senior at Caston High School. I plan to go to Purdue University next year and study biomedical health sciences, hopefully on the pre-med track, and just in the long run, I want to be a pediatrician. So
That's awesome. That's a great ambition, and we wish you much success and best wishes on that. And going to Purdue, that's a great place to start that career. And I saw in one of your biographic things from the Distinguished Young Women Program, want to be a pediatric cardiologist. Is that kind of what you're thinking about?
Yes, definitely.
That's awesome. There's a lot of need for that, and that's one of the heroes in the world, you know. So good luck at that.
Thank you.
So tell us about the Distinguished Young Women Program, and why did you want to get involved with that?
So the Distinguished Young Women's Program is a scholarship program for young girls across the United States. I saw it as a really, really great opportunity to make connections and get really into networking, and not only that, but the scholarship part was definitely really great. It'll help me pursue my future and just get the education that I need for what I want to do.
And you won various scholarships in your competition this fall and in February. Congratulations on that. So for you, it was kind of stepping out to do something a little bit challenging for you, wasn't it?
Yes, definitely.
And that was great that you did that because you're benefiting from that now. And how has that experience helped you, do you think?
So prior to this, I was definitely a little on the shyer side. I didn't really like performing and going out and putting myself out there, but with the program, I was able to step out of my shell, and I'm definitely a lot more comfortable talking to new people, getting to know others, and just showing people like the types of things that I can accomplish.
That's great, because one thing that Michael and I touched base earlier this week was a great feature of this program is the life skills education. And Michael, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure, because that's one of the things, since we're a scholarship program, we usually talk about the scholarship money and the categories on, that are being awarded for that. But at every session that we have, we started out with a life skill workshop. So senior year and beyond, we start off with that one. Good tips for high school senior girls about scholarships other than ours, about how to manage time. We have we have a couple of ladies who are way younger than us women who handle the program so that it's more connection and more relative, because the learning skills for us was a little bit different than they are now.
You've got peers of the people participating in the program.
And in fact, my daughter Ginger and Abigail Powell, who is Melinda Pratt, who helps me, it's her granddaughter.
Okay.
So we have the two of them come, and they actually end up coming a couple of times for life skills. But really good tips with that. We do an interview success workshop with Robin Nelson from Work One. She comes and talks about all kinds of interviews, not just our Distinguished Young Women interviews. And then Dress for Success, we furnish clothing and shoes for the girls if they don't have the appropriate attire for interview and for the self-expression category. And usually every girl takes at least one item, and in fact, they sometimes get to keep their clothes afterwards if they want to, and shoes. So
That's great.
So we do that. Be Your Best Self. We actually have Ginger and Abigail back, and with that, there's actually an essay that gets written, and it's a self-assessment type of thing, talking about being healthy.
Being ambitious, being involved, responsible, and studious.
Yeah.
And Breana, you were the state winner in that this year, right?
Yes.
Congratulations, that's
Thank
awesome.
you.
So,
Yeah,
you're living
extra
that
money
well.
in the pocket. Well, and we hate asking the girls to write an essay because but we've learned this year that when they do write the essay at the local program, then when they go to state, you want to tell them, because you have to do something extra for state.
Yes. So for the local, all you really have to do is write a one-page essay off of the 5 pillars that we already stated. But for the state competition, it has to be about 2 to 3 pages, and then you also have to give a presentation about the pillars and how you resemble them to a specific group of people that you chose. And I was lucky enough to present my presentation to our group of 5th graders at my school, and I think that was definitely a really great thing to get them kind of the thought of how to be a better person and how to be their best selves.
Yeah, it's never too early to get started. I'm still a great believer in the American dream. You can be whatever you want to be, and kind of an example of showing that with some of your be your best skills, right?
Well, the great thing is, since she had to write an essay for the local program, she was able to use that as part of her state essay, so it was already half done. So, good deal. We also do mock interviews because we want to make sure the girls are comfortable with being in an interview setting. We actually have, I think I counted 58 volunteers that help with our program, just Fulton County. And a lot of that is through mock interviews, and she even had 2 mock interview sessions before she went to state also. So we tell them, you need a mock interview, we'll put you through a mock interview.
Interviewing is a great skill. I imagine that was probably intimidating for you at first, wasn't it?
Definitely. I'm not a public speaker, let alone an interviewer. But with all of this, I was lucky enough to improve my skills, and I even had an interview just recently for a job at Logansport Memorial. So I'm able to get that job through my interview skills that I learned with the program.
That's great. It's part of the be your best self life skills thing. So.
And something, this year, we've had personal safety, different types of personal safety life skill workshops in the past. This year, because we also run a Cass County and Pulaski County program, the Domestic Violence Task Force of Cass County had asked about coming and doing something, so they were our personal safety. And really great information, and we even had a girl who was in our program who was not comfortable with leaving work at night and going to her vehicle, and arrangements were made for her to have a pass to be able to park up next to the building. So you never know what's going to result from a personal safety workshop.
All kinds of benefits.
Yeah, so, but very important, especially I think when you live in a community like this and then the girls take off and they go to some big campus
Bigger
or something,
city.
and yeah, it's a different environment, and even us adults need reminded once in a while to lock our doors in certain areas and be more careful. Yeah.
So you mentioned this a few minutes ago. Part of the heart of the success of the Distinguished Young Women program is the volunteers that help out, locally and in the state. I know there are, you mentioned 58 people approximately.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to mention all of them right now. But even Michaela shared the state program brochure with me, and like when Breana went to the state competition, you stayed with a host family, right?
I did.
And there were lots of volunteers that helped out there. How was that experience for you?
It was definitely a little strange going into it. Just staying in a stranger's house was definitely awkward at first, but they really made it feel like I was just at home. They were so great. With it being the week of Valentine's Day, my roommate, they spoiled us a little bit. They got us some candy and they got us some teddy bears. And then just having a driver I have never been that pampered in my life. I don't think I ever had to open a door by myself. I never had to carry my own bags. It was definitely a really great experience once you got used to it.
So now you're back to reality, putting
Yes.
gas in the
Yes,
car, right?
definitely.
The driver experience is pretty awesome.
Yes.
It's not the host family that does the driving. There's actually retired gentlemen who are drivers. In fact, I think the drivers, is there a competition for
Yes.
the best
Yes, there's
driver or something? And so they've been known to take them to, Starbucks or Cone Palace because the state program is in Kokomo. But different car dealerships in the area donate a large vehicle because not only was it her and her roommate in the vehicle, but she probably stopped at another house.
Yeah, there were 2 other girls with
Yeah.
us as well.
So they got to have enough room for 4 teenagers and their stuff.
Lots of stuff.
So it has to be a
Lots of
larger
things.
vehicle.
And you probably traveled lightly, right? And getting with
Definitely.
appropriate attire for all the competition.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
It's a lot.
So this is a great program. We're kind of just wrapping up the 2023-2024 of the state competition, but coming up is 2024 and 2025, Michael.
Yeah, we're
So-
already looking forward to the class of 2025. We're always working a year ahead. So we do try to make it into all of the schools that through Fulton, Cass, Pulaski that we are targeting. Homeschooled girls are also more than welcome to join. But we go into the schools, we talk to the junior girls. If there's any seniors at that school that have been in the program, we always have them with us because that's the best place to get the information is from your peers. But we really rely on adults to help us get our girls because the interview skills is important. Like the life skill workshops we teach are really important, and our goal is that even if you don't win any scholarship money, you at least will have great life skills. So if there's any adult out there that knows a girl who is a junior this year, who's going to be a senior next year, they can go to the Distinguished Young Women. It's easy to apply. You just go to www.distinguishedyw.org. And they apply there, and then based on the zip code, the information feeds to us. We won't start approving applications until later this month. We won't have our first practice session until August, and then we have a program the weekend before Thanksgiving. We do all 3 programs on Saturday and Sunday. Actually, Fulton County's is always on Sunday.
So you serve 6 school systems, basically, is that right?
6 or 7, because it's Tibby Valley, Rochester, Caston, Pioneer, Logansport, Lewis Cass, West Central, Winnemac.
And homeschooled.
And homeschooled. And
So
they had homeschooled
if
participants.
there's grandparents or parents out there listening
Yes.
right now,
They need to encourage.
learn more about the program by going to there's a website.
Yeah, distinguishedyw.org. We actually had a girl this year that was in the program that I had seen her mom, and I said, I'm so glad your daughter's in our program, and she said, I told her interview skills is something I can't teach her. So she needs to be in the program because she needs those interview skills. And that's not an unusual story. I've heard usually after the fact, my mom told me I had to do it. And in fact, there was a girl this year that was signed up and then she decided not to do the program. Then she came to our competition and said, I wish I wouldn't have dropped out. Well, it's too late at that point. It's for high school senior girls only. So it's a one-shot deal.
Now, Breana, you and I were talking before the show started that when you learned about this program, you were somewhat reluctant.
Yes.
So what words of encouragement would you offer to a high school junior about being involved next fall and spring?
Definitely do research. I was just kind of annoyed being pulled out of class to go sit at this random little meeting. But doing my research and looking into what the program really stood for, many people compare it to a pageant, but it's so much more than that. It's not just about beauty and how you hold yourself. There's so much more to it, and you learn so much from it, and I don't think I would have traded this experience for anything. If I could go back and do it again, I would, over and over.
That's great words of encouragement. So overall, you're happy you did it, and you walked away with some awards and scholarships.
Yeah, she ended up $2,650, and I did check the stats before I left the house, and Fulton County's program, just Fulton County's program, since starting with the class of 2020, we've awarded $25,500 in Fulton County through the program.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, and we couldn't do that without our sponsors. We have some very, very loyal sponsors who understand the value in the program and are more than happy to support us every year. So,
Okay.
and our volunteers. Nobody gets paid anything to do this program.
So thank you to the sponsors, and if
Yes.
you have an interest in it, reach out to Michaela Slisher.
Yeah,
Because we'll always take more sponsors, right?
that's right. We always will.
Well, thank you for your time this morning. As we close
Thank you
today,
for having us.
we're talking with Breana and Michaela about the Distinguished Young Women Program, and lots of success. I mean, Breana is a shining example of the success you can have in this program, and bigger and better things are coming for you, right, Breana?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say as we close
I
today?
say, in our world, if you make top 10 at state, that's a big deal. So not only did she end up winning the Be Your Best Self essay, but she also was top 10. So extra money, cha-ching, every time it happens, extra money in your pocket. So yeah, we just really hope to get more people involved. And she's met girls from 2 other counties.
Yes.
You know, and she knew 2 girls who were winners that got to go to state. So that's even a bonus too.
Well, Breana, best wishes to you and your next steps at Purdue, and go out and change the world, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
You can play in the competition here if you want for daylight savings time. What country did daylight savings time originate in? United States, Germany, let me find my list here. Canada and Mexico. United States, Germany, Canada, and Mexico. What do you think, Paul? Or do you want to have Breana and Michaela answer
Ladies
first?
first.
Well, I was wondering if maybe it might be Germany just because of the East and West situation.
Okay. Breana, what do you think?
I think I'm gonna have to say Germany as well.
Okay.
Just because that kind of makes some sense there.
Well, you've got some
Talk
lead
you into
there,
it.
Paul.
Yeah.
Rely on this distinguished young woman to be your lead.
And I'm going to agree with her. in
Oh
Germany.
my
Germany.
gosh, we're either all right or we're all wrong.
Yeah.
If we had a bell to ring, you're right.
Yay!
Germany implemented daylight savings time in 1916 to save fuel during World War I.
Okay.
The United States adopted the practice in 1918. Daylight savings time wasn't standardized across the country until the passage of the 1966 Uniform Time Act. So
Okay.
they only kept it a couple of years after that. Then it dropped, and
Yeah.
they brought it back, and
Yeah.
now it's 2024, and we're still debating daylight savings time.
Drop it.
Okay.
Drop it.
Agreed.
Well,
We've got enough technology now. You know, it was originally for the farmers so that they could see more.
yeah,
or
saving
longer.
daylight.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the time doesn't change. There's just more day. I mean, the sunlight doesn't change. There's just more time at the end of the day.
Yep.
Bus drivers probably don't really like this time of year because then
Yeah.
It's
it's
darker.
dark
Yeah,
again.
that's the
So
negative
that's
part
not
of
a
it.
good deal.
That's a good argument for not changing it, right?
Yeah.
Well, moving on, we'll close with words of wisdom today from Ralph Marston, American writer, very fitting to the Distinguished Young Women Program. What you do today can improve all your tomorrows.
Mm-hmm.
You believe that probably, don't you, Breana? You believe
Definitely.
it change all your tomorrows.
Definitely.
Well, thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Todd, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Have a great week. Be safe for spring break.